Hello everyone. Welcome to my look back at 2021 and all of my makes. My name is Christy Archer. If you're new here, welcome. I look forward to reading your comments and chatting with you about all things fun and nitty. This is going to be a fairly long video, and it may end up being cut into two parts. I had an extremely busy year as far as knitting, and I don't even have all of the things that I made because many of them were gift knits. So I'm only going to go through the things that I actually have with me, and for show notes, I am simply going to put a link to my Ravelry projects page, and you can go there. All of the details are on my project pages, and if you have any questions, you can check that out. So without waiting any longer, because like I said, this is going to be a long episode, definitely grab a drink, sit back, and here we go. So the very first thing, I'm going to start at the beginning of 2021. So the very first thing I finished in 2021 was my sea glass tee. And this is a pattern of my design. And sorry, I'm just trying to think it through. My very first design was the Party of 8. And I actually have some of those here. But I guess, I don't know how that worked out that the sea glass was finished first, but this was finished first. And, sorry. Stop. Gentle. Good boy. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so this is a top-down round yoke top with a lace edging at the bottom. And like I said, it is called the sea glass tee. You can do it with, I'm pretty sure I went back and wrote it for all different sleeve lengths. If I have not already, I'm pretty sure I did. But if I have not already, that is something that I'm going back and doing with all of my patterns, is adding the option for all the different sleeve lengths. So short sleeve, 3/4, and full length. And this is done out of a fingering superwash wool. And the colorway that I did this out of was called Sea Glass, which is where the top got its name from. I really do enjoy this, and this is one of the knits that I actually wear. As I go through these, that's probably going to be a bit much. I won't do that. I was going to say I'll get rid of the things that I don't plan on keeping for the future. Okay, so Sea Glass number 1. My next FO for 2021 was a top-down raglan cardigan. I just made no pattern. I was playing around with pattern design, and I wasn't pleased with the way part of this worked up, so I never wrote the pattern, but I love the shape and style of the cardigan, so it looks pitiful because I have worn it to death. So this is again made out of my sea glass in a DK weight, I believe, but my DK weight yarn. And when I say my yarn, if you don't know, I used to dye yarn. I do not dye yarn anymore. So if it is one of my colorways, I don't offer yarn dyeing anymore. So this was sea glass once again, and my DK was a fairly plump DK, so I think it actually worked up to a worsted gauge. But again, you can check my notes on that. And yeah, I just did a let's see. The things that I did not like about it was I did a broken rib on this. And I did not like the way it bound off. It was too bulky to me there. And I wasn't crazy about the way the lace detail worked up. It should have been bigger. But I do love the broken rib on the sleeves and on the hem. I just did not like it on the front opening. So, okay, that is a one of a kind, and that was my second. Okay, third was a test knit. And we can see you tiptoeing in the mirror. That was my daughter walking by, trying so hard to be quiet. Okay, my third was a test knit, and I don't remember the designer. That's terrible. Sorry, I have my notes here in front of me. Oh, right there. It is by Winter's Weather Knits, and this is called the Blank Slate Tee, and this was a really fun concept. It is a top down, but it is not raglan. It has the shoulder shaping, so you work back and forth, creating your shaping, and then once you're ready so that creates the neck shaping, and then once you have the neck shaping, then you start working in the round. Once you have finished the shoulder shaping, you then knit the back down to the sleeve opening, and then you knit the front down to the sleeve opening. And as you can tell, at some point in time, you introduce a new color, and so this is Intarsia. Yeah, it was Intarsia. And so what I did was I went back, and she gives you different ideas of ways to use this blank slate, and I just came up with my own by doing some funky wonky top stitching to it. A lot of people did like in hers, she did a code for using purl bumps, and she wrote something in here using purl bumps via a code. So anyway, really nice finished project. It was a little overwhelming doing the beginning. It felt like it went on forever. And then I am not one to enjoy knitting with two balls of yarn at the same time. So those were two things I personally did not like as far as the knitting. I love the finished product. Again, it is fingering, and these are my colors. I don't remember. These are all in on my project page, project notes, the colors, but it is a non-superwash, which if you've been here at all before, you know I love non-superwash yarns. And if I didn't say, that was a fingering. So that was number 3. I'm gonna lose count here before long, so. All right, my next FO was one of my new patterns, and this one, I'm sorry, next door neighbor's outside cleaning their house. Dolce. Give me a moment. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the Spring Fling cardigan. This was my first run of making it, and so there were some tweaks and things I needed to make with it. This one is all out of all of my colors, all of my hand dyed, and this is fingering non-superwash. The pattern comes with the option of a standard sleeve or a slightly ballooned sleeve. And this one has the ballooned sleeve. I don't really wear this one all that much because I don't wear balloon sleeves, but I know that that's a very popular style, or at least it was this past year. I don't know if people are still doing the balloon sleeves or not, but anyway, that is, this is one of those I will probably get rid of because I don't care for the balloon sleeves. I do love the striping. I do love the color combo. I do love the basic style, and I have made more of these that I do wear a lot. It is, once again, top-down raglan, open front, has the gently sloping V, and yeah, it's just a really good cardigan pattern, just a good classic. You can do it solid, you can do it striped, whatever. It works for pretty much every occasion depending on what yarn you use. All right, so the next pattern, or the next finished object for 2021, was a collaboration with Farm Fresh Knits, Nicole of Farm Fresh Knits. I had a design that I wanted to do, and this was actually a collaboration that started in 2020, because this was before I started designing myself. And so this pattern is a long raglan. I may pop a picture up here somewhere. Normally I'm off-centered, but because of my garments, I couldn't sit off-center. I'll start scooting over. It's a long cardigan. You start at the bottom, work your way up, and then you cast on, well, the way I did it was picked up stitches for the sleeves and knit down. But when Nicole wrote the pattern, she used my brain is drawing a blank. She used what we use as designers. Sorry, hold on. Sorry. The spreadsheets, sorry, I could not think of it. So she used spreadsheets. So you go in and you put in your gauge and your measurements and everything, and it creates the pattern for you. So it's custom, any size, any fit, any yarn gauge, whatever. So this one I did out of a superwash of my color. This was Greek Domes. And it is an Aran weight, and it has a lace pattern down the back and down the sleeves. Now, when I gave her the basic design, I told her I wanted lace, but I did not have a lace design. So she came up with the lace design and she wrote the pattern, and it is called the Long Walk Cardigan. So I love this cardigan and I love the yarn. I cannot tell you how squishy it is. It is unbelievably squishy. The only reason why I don't wear it more often is I made a mistake and I did not catch it until way after it was made, and I had worn it a couple of times. One of my yarn overs was a stitch off, and it drives me crazy now that I know that it's there. So I don't wear it because of that. I need to take it back apart, fix that, and put it back together, because this cardigan is amazing. But yeah, it's just one of those things. All right, next we're gonna see a little theme here of patterns that I tried and never wrote for whatever reason. This one was called Good Vibrations Cardigan, and I never wrote the pattern for it, though there's nothing wrong with it. I love the design. I thought it was a really cool concept. So this is a top down, and there is no picking up of the front band. So there's no stitches to pick up except for under the arms. Okay, and this is a fingering and a mohair. I cannot remember if my fingering was a superwash or not. I want to say it was. It will be in my notes. And this was out of my yarn dyed called Good Vibrations. This is a fun pattern. I did an extra wide cuff on it, and I did some shaping to where it's longer in the back, and then I did a split hem in the back. This is a very warm cardigan, probably a little warmer than I need here in the desert. For those of you that do not know, I am in Southern California in Palm Desert. So that one's probably a little bit warm. I do wear it when I get really cold, like if the AC is just blaring, I'll throw that on. I do love that pattern a lot. Okay, next one is yet another design that I was playing around with, design concept, and never made it. But again, there's nothing wrong with it. I just never slowed down to make it. So this is a top down round yoke, A-lined with a shirt tail hem. And I love this shirt tail hem. I really do need to write this pattern because the shirt tail hem is nothing I've ever seen anybody else do before. And yeah, it's just really a great look. It was a little short on yarn, so I added this stripe right here to make it happen. But yeah, I did it with short sleeves, but I added a little bit of length to the short sleeves. Most of the time when I do short sleeves, I will do maybe 1 or 2 rounds and then immediately go into the ribbing. But this one I did a few inches before I started the ribbing. Really do enjoy this. Again, my hand-dyed yarns and fingering weight superwash. That one does not have a name. All right. Some of these I probably should have grouped together, but I laid them all out in the order in which I made them. This was one of my next patterns, and you will see a lot of these. If you haven't been to my channel before, you will see a lot of these. Okay, this is called my Lil Sprout pattern, L-I-L-S-P-R-O-U-T. And it is a top-down halter style with a rib detailing at the side with a split hem detail. This is such a great pattern for layering if you live in a colder area, or fantastic if you live in a warm climate. I have made a ton of these. This was my very first one, and it turned out, again, my hand-dyed yarn and fingering weight, but this one was, I learned after making quite a few of them that it fits best with negative ease. All of my pullovers and cardigans and stuff, I generally do with about 2 inches of positive ease, but this one really does best with 2 inches of negative ease. So this one's actually quite large. I probably should rip it back and reknit it because I do love this yarn. Once again, non-superwash. And I cannot remember what the colorway was on that one, but it was a beautiful colorway. Okay, we'll have more of those to discuss. So this next pattern is a vest, and I wanted to make it as more of just a standalone top, but I used a pattern and I do not know how to pronounce it, so I'm going to spell it. It is a capital U, R-A, capital U-E. Uri? I don't know. Again, project notes on my pattern page. This is a gorgeous pattern. Same basic concept as far as the blank slate tee. It's a top down with the neck shaping and shoulder shaping. And it's done with a half fisherman's rib at the top and then stockinette. And then I can't remember if it called for a split hem or not, but I really like split hems. So if it didn't have the split hem in the pattern, I added that. I love this, and I do wear it as a vest. I would like to go back and make it several sizes smaller. so that I can wear it as an actual like tank top or sleeveless top. This is again my yarn, fingering weight non-superwash, and I'm not a purple person at all, but I do like a smoky lavender, and this is a very smoky lavender. It may be coming out brighter. Yeah, it's coming out a lot brighter on screen, but it's a very smoky lavender, and I do love that. So this year I would like to make another one of those in a much smaller size. Okay, now for a top that I never wove the ends in, and I'll explain why. This is another, no, I haven't talked. Okay, I mentioned my Party of 5 pattern. This was my second attempt. Let me go back to my first attempt, and then we'll talk about the second attempt. Okay, my first attempt, there was nothing wrong, so I've actually made this one exactly as is in other colors. This is my Party of 5, and this is a free pattern, so if you like this, feel free to go download it. I no longer am selling my patterns on my website. I am only selling through Ravelry. So you can go to Ravelry and download it. I will provide the link to that in the description box below. And again, I'm pretty sure I originally wrote it for short sleeves, but I'm pretty sure I went back and added instructions for 3/4 and long. This is a top-down round yoke, and it has yoke details and stripes at the same time, and it's called Party of 8 because there are 8 stripes. Again, you could do it in a solid if you prefer. You could do each stripe a different color if you have a lot of, if you're looking for something to do with your oh my goodness. I didn't sleep well last night, if you can tell, so my words are leaving me. The yarns from Christmas. The your little mini skeins. Anyway, scraps, mini skeins, whatever you want to use. This would be fun for that. It is A-lined down the side, and it has a split hem, and it is a 2x2 rib. And this was done out of my hand dyed, and it is non-superwash. And I do enjoy this one a lot. This one's not my favorite though. My favorite will be coming up in just a moment. My second attempt, I wanted to make this out of non-superwash because I know most people prefer or have non-superwash hanging around. So this one was done out of superwash, and as I was making, first of all, I was just the tiniest bit short on yarn. So I was really struggling to get the sleeves made. The cuffs should have been longer. And I think this last stripe, yeah, this last stripe should have been longer as well. So I ran out of the tannish color. And the more I looked at it, and I know it's not the right colors, but the more I looked at it, the more it gave me Freddy Krueger vibes. So because of those two things, I never wove in my ends. I never finished, well, wove in my ends was it. I even blocked it. I just didn't weave in the ends. So I never even got pictures of that, and I never even did a project page for that one. So if you have questions about that one in particular, let me know. But it's a fingering superwash yarn, top down, same information as the other two. I just never did a project page because I never finished it, which is bad on me. Okay, my next Party of 8 is my favorite. The colors are so me, and I have decided I'm going to be doing another video about my 2022 knits and what I plan on doing for 2022. And this one has definitely been a huge inspiration for that. The blues and grays are going to be my colors, blues, blacks, grays, whites, and I may do pops of other colors in between, but for the most part, those are going to be that's going to be my color palette for 2022. Okay, so this is Party of 8, once again, top down, and these colors are just so me. I'm gonna pop a picture up, or I'll try to remember, as long as this video is, I don't know if I'll get to it or not, but I'll try to pop a picture of this one up on me. It really is very flattering, and I do wear this one a lot. So once again, non-superwash fingering, my hand dyed. And yeah, this one is definitely, out of everything that I've shown thus far, this one is my favorite. Okay, all right, into some more little sprouts. This is a same exact thing as before. I think I did this one size smaller. And so my first one was a 38, and this one I think was a 36. And I think from here on out, the rest of them were 34s. So this one is cute as a button. I love it. I do wish it had been one size smaller, but anyway, it is done out of my own hand-dyed, non-superwash fingering. And the color of this yarn was called Little Sprout, hence the name of the design. So there's another little sprout, and then my next one is, my next finished object is another spring fling, this one with the tapered sleeves, and this one I wear a lot. The colors are fun. Once again, the pop of color with the gray, just, I do like that look. So, and this is actually a black yarn. These are my hand dyed, non-superwash. It has, I just love the way the ribbing knits up. To me, this is just a perfect classic raglan, and I do plan on making some of these in some solid colors, so watch out for that upcoming. Okay, I'm gonna have to make some more room here. Let me put some of these down. Okay, we're not even at the halfway point yet. I'll get a sip of water. Okay, my next FO is, and I do enjoy this one a lot too, again, pops of color. This was another sea glass top, and this is just, I love this pop of orange. I mean, it is so fun. And when I wear it with a white sleeveless button up under it and some white jeans. And it is just, yeah, this one's a good one. The lace detailing is, it really shows up on this. It shows up on the green as well. Now this one is a fingering super wash. I wanted to try it out. I like to try the patterns out and make sure there aren't any issues with going superwash versus non-superwash. And this is, again, top down, round yoke, A-lined, and the 3 different sleeve lengths. So that is my pattern. This is yet again another little sprout. And this one I started, you'll see from here forward, the rest of them are out of either cotton or cotton linen blend yarns. And this one is a Hobby Lobby yarn. Cot-et Lin is what it's called. And this was in the colorway, it began with an S. That's gonna drive me crazy. What's the colorway on this one? The one I didn't put yarn notes. I will look up the yarn notes on this because it's not in my on my project page for some reason. So I'll look up the yarn for this one. I know the color. I've just gotta look it up. So anyway, this is another little sprout, and this one I believe was done 34, size 34. And I do like the fit of that one a lot. Okay, my next FO is a bottom up V-neck tank top, and I don't think I used a pattern for this. If I did, I highly modified it. Let me see, did I? No, I didn't use a pattern. So this is just something I kind of made up. It ended up being, and I'll talk about this in a minute, it ended up being, once again, a lot wider than I would have liked. I've got to learn that I've got to make these sleeveless tops with negative ease instead of positive ease. And I have not worn this, though I do love it. I have not worn it because it is a little bit bigger than I anticipated. And when I was snipping my tails, after I wove my tails in, I snipped it and I ended up cutting my sleeve. I was doing it in the mirror and I was doing it backwards, and I ended up cutting it, and I was so upset because I had not even worn it yet. I would wear this one a little bit larger and maybe put like a camisole under it. That would be cute. But I bought the same yarn again, and I think I'm just going to remake it. And this is Cot et Lin Chambray Hobby Lobby yarn. And those are a worsted weight. Any of these, my little sprout, I said fingering on those. On my first one, I apologize, it was not fingering, it was, though my pink one probably was. I think the first time I made the pattern, I made it up in fingering, and then when I finally got to getting ready to write the pattern, I changed it all to worsted. So, or maybe, because that does not look like worsted, the green one does. Or actually, again, it's probably my DK weight because my DK weight was really plump. I digress. I apologize. Do you want a bub? There we go. Okay. You gonna climb on that, sweetie? Mommy needs that. I guess it'll be a little bit before I need those. You happy? Okay. All right, my next one is a pattern that I did write. I did put through testing, but at this point I realized I'm unable to get testers for the larger sizes. And I didn't, sorry, my other pup just hit the camera. Do you want a butt, buddy? No? Okay. Okay, so this one is a top that I definitely plan on releasing. I love this and I wear this all the time, but I have to decide on how I want to handle my garments. Because I cannot get the larger sizes tested, I think what I'm going to do is just not offer those sizes. And I know that that means that my patterns will not be size inclusive, but I feel like if I'm not getting people that are willing to test those sizes, then those people are probably not going to wear the designs anyway. So that's kind of my thinking on that. So anyway, this is called the Confetti Tee, and this is a blast to knit. I made this up in Knit Picks Comfy, is it called Comfy? I think it's just called Comfy. It is a cotton, where is it? There it is. Comfy fingering. So it is a cotton fingering yarn, and it is so much fun. It is a round yoke, and I give you a formula for how to do your increases, which are yarn overs. And everybody's top will be different. There will never be the same two tops exactly the same, or two tops exactly the same. It is so much fun having those little confetti sprinkles, and then it just goes down into an A-line. And again, it will be written when it is produced. It will have instructions for all 3 sleeve lengths, but this pattern is so much fun, and I used the color Peapod, and I love a good Kelly green. Again, throw this on with white shorts or white jeans or whatever. This is just super cute. When I do this, when I wear it, I do white jeans and then I do a leopard belt, and it is the cutest outfit ever. Love, 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 love that shirt. You want up now? Oh, sorry. Okay, can I have some of these? Sorry. They are climbing all over the, okay. I'm just gonna have to work around them. There you go, buddy. All right, the next is another little sprout. I told you I had a bunch of them, and this is not the last. This one is done out of Knit Picks, I'm sorry, Hobby Lobby's. I love this cotton. My mother picked this out when my mother was in, my mother had some heart issues, and when she got out of the hospital, I went cross country and stayed with her and my sister and my brother-in-law and my nephew for a couple of weeks. And while I was there, my mother picked this color out for me, and it is a beautiful coral color, which coral is definitely a color I can wear. So yeah, this one has very fond memories because I made it while I was with my mom. And so again, same drill as last time. You do the neckband, and then you do the neck shaping for the front and the back. You knit the front and the back, and then you join to work in the round. And like I said, it has the detailed ribbing down the side, and it has a split hem. I think my next few that I made, I did without the split hem, just for something different. But again, you put this on with white and it is gorgeous. So yeah, really love that. Hey buddy, can mommy have another one? Am I taking your fluff away from you? Okay, my next is another spring fling. I need another sip of water. There was a lot of knitting last year. My life finally settled down for the first time in my entire life, and I made good use of my downtime. We're still not even halfway through. Okay, this is another spring fling, and again, I did the tapered sleeves. This one I did with Knit Picks Comfy Fingering in colors Clarity and Parchment. And honestly, I have always worn 100% cotton. I love cotton. Cotton is my go-to fabric when I'm buying out from stores. My family laughs at me because I'm forever checking the tags to make sure it is 100% cotton. This is not 100% cotton, but I will say it is very comfortable, and the pilling is not that bad. That's one of the reasons why I prefer cotton. I have a huge issue with pilling, and I know wool just naturally pills, and some of them are not as bad as others. Like I have found that with non-superwash, even though it still pills, it shaves easier. Whereas non-superwash tends to be a little bit harder to shave. Anyway, that is, this coming year, you'll probably see a lot more cellulose fibers from me, linen, cotton, probably some bamboo, lyocell, things like that. It just makes more sense with me here in the desert, and I like the upkeep of it better. And like I said, I just don't have to deal with the pilling like I do with wool. So anyway, this is another, sorry, I'm probably not opening all of these up all the way. Gentle. Good boy. No, that's not gentle. You be gentle. So yeah, this is one that I definitely love. I definitely want to go back and make another one of these in the same yarn in a solid, maybe a couple of solids. Again, if you are new here, I wear a lot of cardigans because being in the desert, I do a lot of tank tops, and then when I get chilly, it's easy to just throw on a cardigan. So yeah, you'll be seeing a lot of cardigans again next year. All right, another little sprout, and this one is made out of Cot et Lin in the colorway Hummus. Cot et Lin, Hobby Lobby's yarn bee. And I love the color of this one. It's just nice and classic. It's easy to wear with anything and everything. This is another color that I will sprinkle into my 2022 makes. That one I really like a lot as well. Okay. Yep, I think I only have one little sprout left, but before that one, hey buddy, sorry. Keep taking all of his comfy. Okay, this was another test knit that I did. I did this for Tara of A Loop Through a Loop, and this is called her Blue Christmas sweater. And she has written it for, I think she wrote it for worsted and fingering. And and she tells you how to figure if you want to change the yarn or whatever. She gives you instructions on that. This one was done out of a DK, and this was done out of Hobby Lobby's, it's a cotton, but it's not, I love this cotton. It's actually a Yarn Bee yarn. Yeah, Blue Christmas is the name of the pattern. And it is actually written for long sleeves, but again, being here in the desert, I opted, and this was during the summertime when I tested it, I opted for short sleeves, and I love it. Okay, Yarn Bee's Sugar Wheel Cotton, and it is, if I'm not mistaken, it is 100% cotton. Let me verify that. Yes, it is 100% cotton. So I really, really do like this yarn. It is a little bit, it does produce a little bit of fluff when you're knitting with it. So it's obviously not a very tight weave, a tight spin, twist, if I can get the words out. So it's not a high quality yarn, but it's not horrible either. and for the price and the amount that you get, because they come in really big cakes. My colors were soft gardenia, which is the cream color, and then black. Ink Black is the name of it. And this is a bottom up, and it has a split hem. So you do your front hem and your back hem, then you join them, work in the round till you get to your sleeve openings, then you work back and forth doing your front and back, and then you pick up for your sleeves and work down. So it is a very fun, beginner-friendly pattern that is easy to wear. I will be making more of these for sure. It's very comfortable, has that sweatshirty feel. Now, she didn't write it for cotton, so I had to adjust for, sorry, my ice maker. I had to adjust for cotton yarn shrinks in length, whereas wool, superwash wool generally grows in length a little bit. So I did have to adjust for that. But yeah, I am very, very, very pleased. And now I've just got piles everywhere. Very pleased with that knit. All right. Sorry, buddy. Okay, I believe this is my last spring fling. Sorry, little sprout. And I did this in a good classic black because everybody needs a classic black in your wardrobe. Excuse me just a moment. Sorry about that. My husband is coming home early today, so I will have to pause at some point in time when he gets here because the dogs go nuts, and then we'll get back into it again. All right, so this is my last and final little sprout, I believe. I keep looking to see if there are any more. I believe this was my last one. I did not do the split hem, though I did, of course, do the detailing on the side. I love that ribbing on the side. It kind of helps give shape where shape is needed. And this was done out of, I love this cotton in black. And those were done in size 34, so there's a little bit of negative ease, and I love the way those last few fit me. Sorry. Okay. My next, excuse me, Peanut. Just gently pulling, and they're just not moving. Okay, my next project is something that isn't technically finished, but it is sort of, kind of. Okay, so this is a pattern that, again, was something that I had planned on releasing, and it was going to be a cardigan slash jacket. And let me just show you real quick. So this is made out of a heavy worsted to an Aran weight yarn. I think my gauge on it was 14 stitches, so it could have even been closer to a bulky. The yarn that I used is technically called worsted, but it is not worsted. Let's see, I was gonna see if, yeah, 14 stitches per 4 inches is the gauge on this, so that is quite bulky. I loved it. My concept was to make a top-down cardigan and then to go back and sew a zipper at the opening so that it could, and it has a high neck on it, so it would zip up. I don't know, I think I would have stopped the zipper like right here and let that kind of open, one or the other. And I had trouble finding the zipper that I wanted, and I ended up going with something that I knew I wasn't going to like. I put it on there and I hated it. So I think what I'm going to do is just go back to the store. I'm out of yarn, so I'm going to go back to the store and see if I can get as close as I can to the same yarn, find another dye lot that's as close to this as possible. And I'm just gonna put a button band up the front. It's going to make it a little bit bigger, but this yarn knit up so nice. And this was Yarn Bee's Yarn ID in the Sand Dollar colorway. And it is 100% acrylic, but it just seems like it's going to be easy care and thick and warm. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do with that. And I keep forgetting to take this to the store with me. So I'm going to set it to the side. So that was Cardi Jack. And whew, okay. There was another little sprout. Sorry, it was hiding. Okay, this little sprout, I really do like this one. This was made out of Yarn Bee's Fresh Haven. This yarn is amazing. I want to go back and make all the things out of this yarn. It has a cool touch to it. I think it has bamboo in it. No, it's just tinsel, which is, I think that's made from bamboo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure tinsel is made from bamboo. This is the coolest to the touch, silkiest, beautiful drape. I mean, this thing, it is just gorgeous. So I will definitely be making something else out of this yarn. I love this yarn. So my last and final, I promise, little sprout without the split hem. Okay. All right, so my next two FOs are actually going to be 4 FOs because both of them I knit up, and one of the patterns, one of the things I knit up, both of these were 4 new patterns. One of them will be published. It is already in testing, and again, size issues. But I ripped it out because I was on a time schedule with the yarn. It's a long story. I started working with Knit Picks, and they are sponsoring my patterns. And so they had sent me this yarn to make up my sea glass. And I thought, I've already made it up. I'm gonna make up a new pattern. And I did the diagonal T, which is the one that I don't have to show. So I made that up first, and I'll pop a picture up here of the diagonal T. Basically, it was a top-down round yoke, and with pearl stitches, I created diagonal designs, lines going down diagonally, and then the lines came up and made lines going down the sleeve here, and no lines on the other sleeve because the diagonals played into the lines that are on the sleeves. So anyway, that is a pattern that I will end up releasing, but I made both of them out of the same yarn. So this is the sea glass with the 3/4 sleeves, and it is made out of Knit Picks Comfy Fingering, and this colorway was Vintage Rose, or let's see, oh sorry, Peony. The color for this was Peony, and I like the color, but it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. So I don't know. I think I'll end up keeping this one because it is out of cotton yarn and it is comfortable to wear. But yeah, I wasn't crazy about the color. So I may end up, that may be one of the ones that I end up getting rid of. So that was actually 2 FOs. And the next one, once again, I had done a design. Now this one, the design just plain and simple didn't work. I will definitely redo it eventually, but I'm gonna have to make some major changes to it. It was called Green Shell. Or sorry, I never gave it a name. That's just how I put it in my Ravelry page. It had a line of, had a line of lace going down the front, and it was a boat neck sleeveless shell. And that one didn't work up, so I made something similar to Little Sprout, but it is different, and this one I'm calling Elegant Acorn. It has been released, and this one has a gorgeous neckline. I love the neckline on this. It's a mock neck, halter style once again, and at the bottom I created these little acorn looking lace details, and I love this little acorn design that I came up with. I was so proud of myself for coming up with that. It was a play off of a lace that I had seen in a couple of my books, my stitch pattern books, and I kind of tweaked it and made it look more like an acorn. So I'm very, very pleased with the way that turned out. And this is made out of no wait, what is this one made out of? Yeah, this is made out of Knit Picks Cot Linen, and the colorway is lichen. And I love this yarn. It is fun to work with. It feels good. It washes well. I've worn this a lot, and there is absolutely it shows no signs of wear. That is my kind of yarn. That's what I'm looking for 2022, are yarns that I can wash and throw on again, and they still look brand new. Okay, so that was 2 FOs. And then after that, in between the diagonal tee and the green shell, and then the sea glass and the elegant acorn, I also made this up, and it turned out really cute. It's just a cotton vest, and I played around with a saddle shoulder. Had never done a saddle shoulder before, but I wanted to do a saddle shoulder in the round, so I do not like picking up neck stitches. So I always like starting with my neckband and then working everything from there. So this has neck shaping, though it's not much. It is longer in the front, and it has, like I said, the saddle shoulders, and then you do pick up stitches for the sleeves or for the arm finishing, and just a basic rib at the bottom. My daughter wears this as a vest all the time, and it looks fantastic on her. I did a little bit of a detailing, which I've used this a couple of times. I love adding just that little touch of garter back there just for a touch of style. This is done out of Knit Picks, Hobby Lobby's I Love This Cotton in Periwinkle, and this is a color that I love, 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 love. I am going to have to do something out of this for myself. This one I had made for myself, but it ended up, after washing and everything, even though I kind of allotted for the how cotton shrinks, I didn't allow enough, and it shrank a little bit shorter than what I would have liked. So this one went to my daughter, and she is getting good use out of it. Okay. I actually think, even though we're just beyond the halfway point now, I think the rest is actually going to go fairly quickly. Okay, so, because I'm almost through with most of the garments. This is my blocked cardigan pattern that, again, is in testing, has not been released. It is made out of Knit Picks Comfy Fingering, and this is a cardigan that I definitely wear a lot of. There may be a few changes that I have to make to the pattern, but this fun little stripe right down the where you separate for sleeves, just a little stripe there, is just really fun. And again, this is neck. You do your neck band, and then you do your neck. This particular one does not have neck shaping because, again, I wanted that high collar, but because of the yarn, I think I am going to have to go back and do neck shaping and make it a standard crew neck. So that's one of the changes that I'll have to make. And then you go into a clean finished hem down the front. I think that, what's wrong, baby? What's wrong? It's okay. It's okay. Did something hurt you? Okay, sorry about that. I think she fell down in between the clothes and the cushion, and it startled her. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I can't remember what I was saying about that, but this is blocked cardigan. It will be released. I don't know when. Okay, hold on just a moment. Bring everything a little closer. Okay, this is a pattern that I do not think will ever come to fruition. It was going to be Party of Five. Again, this gave me Freddy Krueger vibes. I did not care for the color. I love the yarn. This is Knit Picks. What is the linen? I have 0 notes on this one. Wow. It is the chain, Knit Picks chain something. Let's see. It's that linen chain. Oh, Lindy chain. Okay, so this is Knit Picks Lindy chain. Love the yarn. I will say one of the hanks that I got had a bunch of sections where the chain had come unraveled, and so I had to take these huge chunks or sections or whatever, and kind of, you'll have to wait, buddy, cut them out and blah 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 blah. So this one, if I do release it, which I don't think I will do different colors. And this was a sponsored, so I've got to contact Knit Picks and let them know about this, because I just was not happy with those two colors together. They looked pretty in theory, but when it actually made up, it gave me Freddy Krueger vibes. So top down, round yoke in fingering yarn, and those colors were conch, and conch is the coral, and then thicket, thicket for the brown. Okay. All right, let's see. Now, and the reason that one was called Party of Five was because of 5 stripes. All right, so well, let's just see. I think it was about September. Okay, the beginning of September, I was needing a small, fun knit that, like, I needed a good process knit. I am not a shawl wearer, but I love knitting shawls. So long story short, I looked around on Ravelry, and I would find patterns that I liked, but there were things about them that I didn't like. And I spent forever. This was probably the very beginning of September. I spent forever trying to find the perfect shawl pattern, and I just could not find what I was looking for. So I said, I'm just gonna make it. So one of the things I don't like about a lot of shawl patterns is the way they do the garter tab, and then all of the yarn overs for the increases. I like a clean finish. So I came up with this pattern, and this was just for my own sanity. Like I said, I just needed a fun process knit. And so I came up with a design for a crescent shawl, and I gave it a clean edge. And I did these fun little, see if Estonian buttons. It's really hard to see. I made several of these, so you'll see the Estonian buttons in some of the others better. And then I did these fun dropped stitches. And then again, I prefer very clean and simple. So a lot of the edges were lace and everything, and I love knitting lace, so it really shouldn't have mattered, but I wanted a clean edge to it, so I did a 2x2 rib finish. And I made this out of one of my yarns. This is a superwash fingering in one of my black, I think it was like chimney sweep shawl. And it is, because even though it's fingering, you knit it up on a really large needle, so you get a 72-inch wingspan. For those of you that don't know, most people from finger to your opposite shoulder is approximately 36 inches or 1 meter. So anyway, this is a crescent shawl, and I enjoyed it so much. And I thought, oh, and the other thing I wanted it to accomplish was I wanted it to be one skein. I didn't want anything big and huge. I just wanted a fun palette cleanser, one skein, easy to knit, you know, just an enjoyable project. So this is a one skein project. It is my pattern, and this is called All Buttoned Up. Again, you can find it in my Ravelry store linked below. Project page will be under the project page link. All right, so when I did that, I thought, you know what? The other problem I was having on Ravelry was the fact that there were not a lot of one skein shawl patterns. So I set out to solve that problem, because to me it was a problem. I mean, everybody has these gorgeous single skeins that are special to them. It has a special memory, or the color is special to them, or whatever, and they have nothing to do with it except maybe a pair of socks. And some of them are just not sock worthy yarns. They're too nice for socks, or you know, whatever, you want it to actually show. So I set out to do my plan was to do 12 one skein-ish shawl patterns. And the reason I say ish is because some of them have scraps added to them. Okay, so my first was the All Buttoned Up, and I did it again in another yarn, hoping that the buttons would show up better, because that one, the Estonian buttons didn't really show up very well. This was a yarn, and this was just me testing things out. This was a yarn from Hobby Lobby, and it has like a mohair kind of vibe to it. It's called 44th Street. And this one I think ended up being even bigger than 72. Let's see. No, it's 72 as well. Okay, so same thing. And then you can see the Estonian buttons better in this one. This one has been very, very loved and worn. This one I made for my daughter. And so this one has gotten a lot of love and use. So that is Estonian button number 2. Okay, and my second shawl pattern, oops, no, gentle, I said gentle. Okay, my second shawl pattern, I really love this. So I made this out of my, I'm pretty sure most of these I used my, if it was my yarn, it was superwash. This one is called A Dash of That, and this one, these are all so much fun to knit because I added fun little elements that are fun to knit. This one I did these little mosaic dashes. Let's see, I'm trying to see if it's focused. And they are so much fun to knit. It's 2 rows of mosaic, so you're going in one direction and coming back in the other. And this one I did with a modified, this is a modified triangle. So it has the triangular shaping, so it has the spine down the center, and I do lifted increases, a right lifted and a left lifted increase for the spine. But down at the bottom on this one, I did a, I did not do a pointed, I did not do a triangular hem on it. I did a 2x2 and I just did it as if it were a crescent, and you can pin it into a triangular shape. So that was my first version of this, and I do have another one. In the second one, I actually did the triangular shaped hem. I love that one. I love this one too. Cannot remember the, Doe Deer is the beige, and then the black is one of my blacks. I don't remember. Okay, so that was my second design, the shawl design. My third, I actually did do a lace detail on this, and if I were to ever make it again for myself, I would do a 2x2, but I wanted to change it up a little bit. This is a crescent, and it is done the heart-shaped crescent, so it has you start in the center and your increases work on both sides of the, what am I trying to say? Your line of increase, okay? So you have your increases along this edge, and then you have your increases along this line, and then your increases along this edge, and then your increases along this line. And this one has, this one's called Black Pearls, if I didn't say that already. And this has, once again, a mosaic pattern that creates these little pearl-like, this creates these little, it's a mosaic pattern that creates these little pearl-like, it looks like strands of pearls to me. So this one I did out of Hobby Lobby's, their 100% wool, what is it called? Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed Tonal. And I did pink, Plush Blush is the pinky color. And then the black is some of my yarn that I used, some that I had laying around. So these are great stash busters, one skein wonders, and just grab some of your scraps and fill in. They're so much fun to make. And they're very big. They're actually wearable. Again, they're all made with fingering yarn with a really large needle, so it's drapey, and it really, they wear very nicely. My next one is called Simply Irresistible, and I love this. This is so much fun. This is a crescent, a heart crescent once again, and it is just simple. It is so simple. There is just stockinette, but the fun comes in the striping. Again, just get scrap yarn and have fun with your striping. But this has a gorgeous shape to it. This is actually a pattern that I am using. I ask that I'm not charging for the pattern. I ask that you go to a charity that I support and make a donation of $5 or whatever you can. And all of that information is in the pattern, on the pattern page. Oh, and I forgot to show one other detail. I did a very fun twisted 2 stitches right at the top of each of the knits in the ribbing, and I thought that was something that was a little bit fun, just to add some variety to the knitting. Okay, the next one I knit, and I think, yes, I've knit this one a couple of times as well. This one is called Pebble Creek, and this one was strictly for my daughter. She picked out the yarn. Once again, it's the Yarn Bee Authentic, and the color, why is is it some of my projects do not have the yarn information? I need to go back and add that. It was one of Yarn Bee's authentic hand-dyed prints. And it is, sorry, I'm folding it up before I even show. This has this fun panel of lace that goes down the spine and out the sides. So this one's very, very lacy, and this is a one skein shawl. There are no accents with this one. Once again, 2x2 hem, 2x2 ribbed hem, and this one is technically a triangular shawl, but it's a modified triangle, so it has just a standard hem. There's no increases at the point part. So there's that. And whew. The next one I love. This one is done out of a Yarn Bee authentic tonal. I think it was like Spa. Spa is the name of it. And then I added one of my hand-dyed yarns to the bottom. And I did this one with a, this is a triangular shawl with a triangular hem. So it is a true triangular shape. And I love this so much. Oh, I love this. And the texture is what I love so much. Look at those little slipped stitches. And it gives me the vibe of thistle seeds, if you've ever seen thistle seeds. So that's why it's called thistle seeds. And then the bottom, I did a 2x2 rib, but where the reverse stockinette would normally be, it's actually seed stitch. Because I was playing off the name of, thistle seeds. So it has the seed stitch, and that hem is, in my opinion, let me see if I can get a good picture of it. The hem is just gorgeous. This is one of my favorites. I really, really, really do like this one a lot. So that is Thistle Seeds. Again, most of these have a 72-inch wingspan. This one has a really deep drop, so if you need something really warm, or even if you're just throwing it over a tank top, it still works. So after Thistle Seeds, and I've lost count as to where I am now, I did Outstranding. And I wanted to kind of add another skill set. So as I'm doing these, I'm literally thinking, what is something that people want to try, but they only want to do a little to see how they do or to give them practice or whatever. So this one is actually stranded color work. And not only is it stranded color work, it's stranded color work front and back, but it is super easy. It is not hard at all. It sounds like it would be hard doing stranded color work on the reverse side, but it's not. It's nothing more than like slip stitches or whatever. So this one I did triangular. Once again, I really realized after getting started on these that triangular shape really is fun to make. So we have the spine and we have this Andalusia texture to it. And that texture goes right down into the pattern at the bottom. So it's the same texture, but you're doing stranded color work with it. So you have, I think it was 9 different colors that you could just use scraps on. And it is just so much fun. And then I did a seed stitch hem at the bottom, and it has a true triangular shape to the hem. So this was done out of Hole in the Wool yarns, and she changed her name. I will put her information in the description box below because I do not remember what she changed her name to. but this is Alicia, and she is amazing yarn dyer. I love all of her tonals. I'm not into heavy printed yarns. I prefer solids or tonals or tweeds or heathers, things like that. So yeah, these are absolutely gorgeous. The only color that was not hers is this orange. That was left over from my sea glass top. So anyway, that is Outstranding, and I love, 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 love. I hope you guys enjoy these little one skein wonder projects as much as I do. Okay, I'm going to take a real quick pause because my husband is here. Let the dogs do their thing, and then I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Sorry about the little interruption. My husband decided to come home early, so I am going to wrap this up so that we can go spend some time together. Okay, so I believe the last one I talked about was Outstranding, and that one has not been released yet, but it will be released very, very soon, within the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, something like that. It has already been through testing. It's done. It's ready to go. But when it finished, it was right at the holiday time, and I just didn't feel like that was a good time to do a release. So watch for that one soon. Okay, so the next one that I did is another Pebble Creek, and sorry, the reason I redid Pebble Creek was, like I told you with the first one, I made that one specifically for my daughter, and the yarn just did not show the pattern detail very well. And so anyway, this is my second version, and I made this out of Knit Picks palette yarn, and you can see the design in it much better. And this one, I decided to add a contrast hem to it. So this one was done out of, I think the colors were Pool and, yes, Pool, and I think the trim is called Graphite. It's the blackish grayish color. But this is, once again, very, very, very easy to wear. My daughter does wear this one a lot as well. You can tell the ones that have been worn, they have a little more wear and tear to them, which is great. That's what if she will get use out of them, it makes me happy. So that is Pebble Creek as well, and I do have instructions, or not necessarily instructions, but yardage or grams used for the hem. I believe all of that is in the pattern as well. Sorry, I had a real quick bite to eat when my husband got home because I was getting hungry. All right, so the next one is another hole in the wool yarn collaboration, and this one is called The Park, and I love the way this one turned out. The colorway is, this is hole in the wool yarn, and the colorway is Park, and let's see, Parchment is the light color, and then Woodsgate is the black. And this is, once again, this is a stranded color work, but you only have 2 rows of stranded color work. Is it 2 or 4 per stripe? So it's very, very little bit of color work, just enough to keep it interesting and fun. Another triangular shawl. It has the triangular 2x2 hem detail, and again, another one skein project with just a little bit of scrap yarn for the stripes. And so that is The Park. I love the color, that green color, a lot. Okay, My last shawl to show is another a dash of that. And again, no, I actually have two. One of them I don't have a project page for. I don't know why. Let me do that one first and then I will do my favorite. Okay, this is another all buttoned up, and this is the one that I actually show in the pattern. It is the best yarn for this particular project. So I do highly recommend this yarn. This is Knit Picks Gloss Fingering, and it shows the Estonian buttons the best out of all of the yarns that I used to make this. And of course you can see the drop stitches very well also. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous shawl. Of course, I'm not doing it any justice right now, but this is just a fantastic when you have time to actually throw it on and get it laying right. And this silk, this is Gloss Fingering, has silk in it, so wool silk. It is gorgeous. It just drapes beautifully. So if you are to grab that pattern, I do highly recommend the Gloss Fingering yarn. And this was colorway Velveteen. And again, I don't know why I did not do a project page on this. This was getting close to the end of the year, close to the holidays, and my holidays were insane, busy, crazy, crazy busy. Okay, my last one that I'm going to show is my all-time favorite. Everything came together on this. The color of the yarn itself, the pattern. This is the pinnacle of all of the shawl patterns I have made. This is a dash of that, and this is done out of Carson is the blue color, and sorry. Anna is the blue colorway and Carson is the blackish grayish colorway. And I look at I don't know if you can see, but it has a beautiful halo to it. I love everything about this. It's an alpaca. This is Knit Picks Alpaca Cloud Fingering, and it is a cloud. And I just love it. It smells so good. This is one that I do wear. Out of all of them, I wear this one, and I do wear the first black, a dash of that, and I do wear the last one that I just showed, a dash of that in the Gloss Fingering. And I do love the Thistle seeds. I wear all of them occasionally. I'm just not a big shawl wearer, but this one is by far my favorite. I love this. Okay, so that is a dash of that. Now we get into, I think there's a couple of more things. Yes, there were two more things before I started Christmas knitting. Actually, three. So the first was a test knit for fog bound knits, and this is called the Balcony Falls cardigan. I made this for my daughter, and I made this out of Yarn Bee's Soft and Sleek Solids, and this yellow colorway is just so neat. It's showing up pretty good. It has a little bit more of a green to it than it's showing, but it was such an unusual color that she and I both were like, yeah, that's the one. And then it has this fun fringe detail. I still need to do a button on it, and then the collar folds down, but it's almost like it's a very cozy collar to it. I was trying to get it to lay right. Now I did make the ribbing longer on the collar and on the sleeves and on the hem. I think she had a 1-inch hem on all of those, and I like my ribbing to be a little more substantial. So this was made for my daughter for Christmas. So this was technically a Christmas knit, but it was done before the month of December. So that is Balcony Falls cardigan. It's hard to show in the thing because it is so long. Okay, and then I made myself a Ramona cardigan. And I had bought some yarn from Hobby Lobby, and it is the, what was it called? Must Be Merino, Yarn Bee Must Be Merino. It is a yarn that I have looked at forever and wanted to do something with it and just never found the right project. Well, I went ahead and bought the yarn because I was like, I'm gonna make a cardigan out of this. And so I bought the regular, which I think is, let's see, it must be like a DK, I think it's like a DK weight. And I made the Ramona cardigan, and I will pop a picture up here of it because I love it. But the yarn has not held up well. This is a month and a half old, and no matter how many times I shave it or whatever, it just stays looking yucky. So I don't like that. I love the pattern, but I don't like the yarn. This is something that I will probably take the buttons off of and get rid of it. I do love my buttons. I used a shell button, and those buttons are a lot of fun. So I will be making this again. When I bought the yarn and found the pattern, the yarn actually didn't match the pattern. So I had to do some finagling. I would like to eventually find an Aran weight yarn because I think it requires, let's see. Yeah, it requires an Aran weight, and this the gauge on it is supposed to be 15 stitches. And I think I ended up getting like 16 stitches. So I was close, but it's very, very, I don't mind the way it feels. It's very springy and airy. I like that, but I'm just not happy with the wear and tear of the way the yarn is holding up. So that one will not be staying in my closet, but I will be remaking it. As a matter of fact, I have some Knit Picks Alpaca Cloud yarn in a blackish gray and in a cream. If I can get gauge well enough or finagle the numbers well enough, I think I'm going to do both of those in the Ramona cardigan style. Now, I am actually in the process of knitting another Ramona cardigan, but I'm making major changes to it. The basic style is staying the same, but I'm using a worsted yarn and I'm doing a true worsted gauge. The designer, Elizabeth Smith, actually has the cardigan designed in an Aran weight and a fingering weight, nothing in between. And when she has you make the pattern, she has you pick up the collar, and I don't like that. So I start with the collar, and then I just use German short rows to do my shaping, and then, yeah, just basically do the same. I am doing the same raglan design that she used, and which you can't really see in this, but it's hard to see because it's black, but it has a garter ridge down the center, and then it has a knit stitch on each side, and then it's a make one right, make one left on each side of that, which is really pretty. I'm actually making, like I said, another cardigan right now, and you can really see the detail of the raglan. It's really quite cute. And then it has a garter seam, faux seam down each of the sides. And then again, like with my blue pattern, it has that broken rib. So it's a knit one stitch and then it's a garter ridge. So I think the way she does that is different than the way that I'm doing it. I'm doing it on the back side, you purl all of the stitches, and then on the front side you knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, blah blah blah. I think the pattern calls to do it differently. So basically I'm just taking the same basic design, but I am majorly modifying it and making it what I need it to be. Okay, so from there, I moved into my gift knits. For the month of December, I was knitting like a crazy person. So for the month of Christmas, okay, I am not a sock knitter previous to Christmas. I had attempted to knit a sock one time. My yarn was not right. My gauge was not right. I only made the one, never picked it up again. So just before Christmas, or just before December, I decided to do a test for the autumn acorn, and it was for a pair of her magic heel socks. I'm sure you guys have heard of them. And it was such a fun pattern. She had these beautiful cables going down the front. I would show them, but not really knowing a whole lot about socks, I used a 100% eco-friendly wool, and I got to wear them like 5 or 6 times, and they now have holes in the bottom and they look horrible. So I don't want to show them to you, but I will pop pictures up of them. I enjoyed that process so much. And I have had for a couple of years now people requesting me to knit them socks. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do socks, but the cable was a little involved for gift knits. And I had a bunch to make in a short period of time. And so I was thinking about the concept of the tube sock and how basically the magic heel sock is basically a tube sock. It's an elevated tube sock. And I wanted to take it even a step further, just me being me. And I was thinking about stitches that work together. I wanted to put stitches that would work together to help create the shape of a foot. So I played around and came up with the design, and I put it on my foot and fell in love with it. And so I made one for my daughter. I made a pair for my daughter. She fell in love with it. So I was like, okay, I think I've got something here. And if you watch my podcasts, I talk about it in more detail in my podcast. So long story short, after playing around with stitches and everything, oh, and I forgot to say the name of the pattern that I did for Autumn Acorn is Cabled Heel Magic Socks. Okay, so I did a practice pair out of some Aran weight yarn that I had, and I wasn't crazy about the way the yarn made up, but the concept was definitely there. So long story short, I would show you my practice socks, but the yarn said it was superwash. I washed them twice. The second time they came out of the dryer, I don't think the first time I put them in the dryer. The second time I told my son, yeah, it was okay to put them in the dryer, and he did. When they came out, they were felted. So I threw those away. But after my practice pair, I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more pairs. Most of them were gift knits, so I gave those away, but some of them I do have, and Some of them have been slightly worn, tried on for pictures, not really worn, but put on for pictures. So this is a pair that I made for my daughter. And so it has a garter ridge on the front and then 1x1 rib on the back. And these things naturally shape. Now this particular yarn isn't showing it very well, though I do love this yarn, and I will be making more of these socks out of this yarn. This was Yarn Bee's Baby Bee Stork Struck. This yarn feels so good on. So I will be making more of these out of this yarn if you are looking for a good one to use. After the yarn debacle with the first pair, I was like, yeah, I'm going with something that is definitely washer friendly because I just want to be able to throw everything in the washing machine. Okay, so that is one pair, and this was out of Elephant, colorway Elephant. It may have just been Elephant. Again, notes are in my project page. Okay, one of the first pair that I made, which I guess I should have shown this first, my pattern is written such that you can do a contrast cuff and toe, or you can do it solid like I did these. My first pair I love, and I did make these a little, the needle size that I used on these, I needed to go down a needle size. So this is the pair that I made for the pattern. I should not say this was the first pair. I made all of the gift socks. So I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pair were gift socks. All of those were knit up, and then I knit these up for the actual pattern. They have been through testing, and these are getting ready to be released. I'm so excited about it. These are top down, though you could easily convert them from toe up if you prefer. I just like the stretch of a top down cuff better than a toe up. But as you can see, like I said, these things naturally shape to your foot. They're amazing. So these I made out of Yarn Bee's Rustic Romantic, and this is blueberry bushel and iron, antique iron. And I do enjoy these a lot. Again, the blues and grays, that is going to be my theme for 2022. Another pair that I have knit a ton more than these, but this is another pair that I have to show. This is again out of the same yarn, but it's out of Blush. Yeah, Blush and Antique Iron. And it's showing up, because of the light, it's showing up kind of beige, but it is a pink. But these things are so much fun to knit. And I don't wear socks like out and about. I just wear them around the house. And that's what these are great for. I have started, and I did not bring that. Let me grab that. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I am also currently working on my fingering version of the same design. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. Okay, and for this, I am using Knit Picks Stroll Tweed, and this is in color Welly's Heather, and the other is in Persimmon. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Okay, so I do have one sock knit up, and I need to make up the other, but I was getting ready for the release of the worsted version. And so the worsted version, I wanted to make up a bunch for release week for showing all the different ways it can be done and colors and all of that. So I was working on that, but then I'm going to go back to that and go back to this and get the fingering version done. And I love it in the tweed. I mean, hello. It is so, so fun. So that will be coming out as well. And I've already got the cuff done. I just need to add the body color. So that is pretty much it for what I have to show from 2021. I did make some hats, and I made a shawl for my sister. There are other things that I have made that I gifted or don't have with me for whatever reason. So yeah, that is it for 2021. That was a long one. I hope you enjoyed everything that I had to show. I am definitely looking forward to being a little more mindful with my 2022 knits. I am in the process of losing weight, if you don't watch my podcast. And so I'm not really going to be doing a lot of garment knitting until the weight is off. So I definitely see a lot of sock knitting in my future for 2022. I've already made 3 pairs, 1, 2, 3, 3 pairs, maybe more. I may not have added all of them yet. In this year, I did finish up one sweater that I had started in, when did I start that? I started it December 29th and finished it January 5th. So technically that will be a 2022 knit. So there is one sweater. And like I said, I am working on a cardigan, but cardigans I'm not as concerned about because I think they'll be fine to wear even after I lose the weight. And if not, I'll just remake them. No big deal. But I do want to, for 2022, I want to be more mindful about what I make. Is it something that I'm going to wear enough to put the time in? I want to be more mindful about the yarns that I use. I want my garments to be as carefree and easy to care for as possible. I do want to stick within my my color theme so that these things will work well together and easier to use in my wardrobe. Yeah, so, and then I think, of course, with the socks, those can be whatever I choose. I can have fun with those when it comes to colors and things like that because I'm literally just going to be wearing them around the house. So that's my future looks for making and everything for 2022. I will talk about that more in my podcast that will be the last Sunday of this month. But I do appreciate you. If you have made it to the end, congratulations. Thank you. That was a lot to go over, and I hope it was entertaining and informative and inspiring and can help you make decisions on, you know, yarns and fit and things like that. And then it's just, for me, it's just a video recording of all the work that I've done in 2021. So that's it, and I appreciate you watching. And if you like this, I would love to have you subscribe and visit with me each month when I do my month end. I discuss all of the projects that I've made within each month. I share that on the last Sunday of each month. So definitely subscribe and click the bell icon so that you are alerted and when I put out a video, and you can come and join me. So that's it. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them down in the in the comment box, and I'll leave a few key links in the description box if you want to do further research on anything I've done. Talk to you again soon. Bye.